boycotting the upcoming World Cup games in the U.S.
So overnight, 17,000 more tickets were canceled for the World Cup here in America.
The World Cup boycott has to be a live threat all the way up to next June.
Is that fans will almost vote with their feet to a degree, and the fans simply won't go in the numbers that FIFA and the USA and Mexico and Canada would.
Millions of football fans are set to travel to North America this summer. Trump administration's aggressive immigration crackdown have led to growing calls for a boycott.
As a fan, I simply wouldn't go. It's dangerous.
He isn't calling for a boycott per se, but is urging fans to stay away.
This did not begin with noise. There was no press conference, no warning from Washington, no statement from FIFA. Instead, it started quietly inside German football. One idea entered the discussion: boycott.
Last 24 hours, many of you may have noticed this, a potential boycott. Is it going to come to that? Of the 2026 World Cup has been suggested as potential leverage against Donald Trump.
That single word placed more than $45 billion in global World Cup value into question. The 2026 World Cup is expected to generate around $20 billion in broadcast revenue, $15 billion in sponsorship deals, and billions more through tourism and infrastructure. For Canada, this moment carries both opportunity and risk. Canada could gain billions in extra matches, tourism, and global exposure. But instability also brings cost, including higher security spending and political pressure.
If there's reasons they can't come in, those are nothing to do with the organizers of any event, whether it be a World Cup or Olympics.
President Trump continued to frame the World Cup as guaranteed American success.
Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got.
Mark Carney stayed silent. Germany spoke carefully. And in that silence, confidence began to shift. When certainty weakens, money follows. Germany is one of the strongest voices in world football. German teams consistently rank among the top 5 in global viewership. Matches involving Germany attract hundreds of millions of viewers across Europe, Africa, and Asia. Broadcasters depend on Germany to justify contracts worth $3 to $5 billion. Sponsors design global campaigns around German participation. When German officials speak with caution instead of confidence, systems react. This was not protest or emotion. It was institutional doubt. FIFA understood the message immediately. President Trump dismissed concerns publicly, but financial systems do not respond to speeches. They respond to risk. Mark Carney understood that difference. Germany did not threaten action. It simply made uncertainty visible. That alone was enough. In global systems, credibility matters more than volume. Germany's credibility turned a quiet comment into a serious signal. The World Cup is not just football. It is a financial structure built on assumptions. Broadcasters commit years in advance. Sponsors invest early. Host cities spend billions before the first match is played. The 2026 World Cup depends on assumptions worth over $45 billion. One key assumption is full European participation. If even one major power hesitates, advertisers reassess value. Legal clauses allow renegotiation. A drop of just 10 to 15% in viewership could erase $4 to $6 billion in revenue. For Canada, this creates both upside and risk. More matches could mean billions in tourism and global visibility. But instability also raises costs. Security, logistics, and diplomatic pressure increase. Trump framed hosting as power. Carney treated it as responsibility. Germany treated it as conditional. Those differences now matter. History offers a clear warning. The 1980 Olympic boycott did not start with mass withdrawals. It began when one credible nation questioned participation. The games continued, but legitimacy suffered. Viewership dropped. Sponsors pulled back. Long-term trust was damaged. Germany understands this history. Referencing past boycotts was not emotional. It was strategic. Germany did not need to leave the World Cup. Making departure plausible was enough. That possibility alone forced FIFA, sponsors, and broadcasters to prepare for loss. Trump dismissed comparisons. Carney remained silent. Canada watched systems adjust. History shows that once participation becomes optional, power shifts. Organizers lose leverage, nations gain it. Canada could benefit by appearing stable, but if uncertainty spreads too far, the entire system loses value. That balance now defines the risk. Publicly, FIFA stayed calm. Officials repeated familiar phrases about unity and neutrality. Privately, concern grew. A World Cup without Germany would change advertising models, broadcast schedules, and sponsorship value. Legal teams reviewed contracts tied to guaranteed participation. Even uncertainty triggers clauses. At the same time, U.S. immigration policies added unpredictability. Fans, teams, and sponsors rely on clear access. When access feels uncertain, confidence drops. This was not chaos. It was erosion. Slowly, quietly, certainty weakened. FIFA's greatest risk was not one team leaving. It was multiple teams hesitating. Hesitation spreads faster than protest and is harder to control. As doubt entered planning rooms, control began slipping away from organizers. Canada did not respond with statements. There were no speeches or threats. That silence was deliberate. While uncertainty grew around the United States, Canada offered something different: stability. Mark Carney did not comment on Germany's concerns or FIFA's pressure. Instead, Canada emphasized clear rules, reliability, and calm leadership. That message mattered. In moments of uncertainty, decision-makers look for safe options. Canada did not present itself as a replacement for the United States. It presented itself as dependable. That distinction is important. Stability builds trust. Trust attracts confidence. Without confrontation, Canada's position quietly improved. In stressed systems, calm actors gain influence. Canada did not step forward. It was noticed. President Trump did not expect this shift. The World Cup was meant to showcase American strength. Instead, it exposed risk. Strong rhetoric can energize supporters, but global events require predictability. Immigration rules, diplomatic disputes, and public threats shape perception. Teams and fans want certainty. When policies change suddenly, confidence weakens. Trump reacted to criticism, but reaction is not control. Control comes from trust. As doubts grew, the narrative changed. The United States was no longer the unquestioned center of the tournament. It became one part of a system under review. That shift surprised Washington. Hosting global events is not just about size or money. It is about reassurance. And reassurance became harder to deliver. Germany's signal did not remain isolated. Other nations noticed. Some avoided strong commitments. Others used cautious language. No coordination was required. Uncertainty alone changed behavior. Media coverage shifted. Questions once dismissed became reasonable. This is how pressure spreads in global systems. Quietly, gradually, without announcements. Sponsors watch trends. Broadcasters monitor risk. Federations consider reputation. No one wants to appear complicit if values are questioned. This was not rebellion. It was observation. And observation leads to adjustment. The system began preparing for multiple outcomes instead of one guaranteed path. For decades, hosting global events depended on infrastructure and money. That model is changing. Trust, diplomacy, and stability now matter just as much. The 2026 World Cup revealed that shift clearly. Participation is no longer automatic. It is conditional. That changes power dynamics. Canada benefited without demanding it. By staying calm, it gained credibility. The United States faced a lesson. Influence does not replace trust. Predictability cannot be enforced. It must be earned. Hosting is no longer guaranteed by size alone. It depends on how allies feel, how fans are treated, and how stable policies appear. The 2026 World Cup will likely still take place. Matches will be played. Trophies will be lifted. But something important has already changed. The belief that global sport exists outside politics has weakened. Germany did not cancel the tournament. It revealed its fragility. Canada did not challenge anyone. It benefited from calm. Trump did not lose the World Cup, but control shifted. The most important change did not happen on the field. It happened quietly, through trust and language. Once participation becomes optional, systems change. The real question is no longer where the World Cup will be played. The question is, who now holds the leverage?